than it was before. Got some good times knocking upon your front door.
Hi, friends. Welcome to the 215th episode of Make Your Day Richer. And I just want to start off apologizing for two things. One, my allergies are kicking my butt today. So I apologize to any noise that may come through this microphone at any point today that you don't really want to hear. But South Carolina really knows how to throw some pollen around. And today, my body has had enough of it. Also, so we film in my home, in the home studio, and someone has their dog outside, and the dog would like to go inside, but no one, I don't know, a neighbor is not letting the dog inside. So all I hear in my ears is a dog barking. So I'm hoping that either you can't hear it or you can barely hear it. Fingers crossed. Anyway, once I get over all of that, we have a great show. And also this weekend, I'm going to be having lots of fun in Florida at the Wolf Media Festival. The Wolf Media Fest is a year-round festival. Every month they have winners. And anybody out there who is creating media, whether you are making podcasts, whether tarot cards, movies, authors, music, anything. Go to wolfmediafest.com. I co-host their podcast with my good friend Kyle. And I say my good friend. I've never met her in real life, but I get to meet her this weekend at the Wolf Media Fest. So it's in Florida, in Melbourne, Florida. And so if you're in the area, go get tickets. They're very affordable. If you're not in the area, but you're making content, look them up and start winning. Not that I can guarantee you're going to win awards, but look them up and submit your work and start winning awards for all of the hard work that you're putting out there. So go do that. Okay. And hopefully I'll see you this weekend. There's going to be film screenings, book readings, live podcast recordings. There's a ton of stuff all weekend. So I hope I see you there. Let's check. In 214 episodes, since this is 215, we should look at how many views we have accumulated in 214 episodes. Let's take a look. $337,388. We like exact numbers around here. And we also love when you help us get to 338,000 by sharing the show right now. Wherever you're watching, listening, now's a good time to just click that button and share the show. And if you'd like to support the show so we can continue to bring you amazing guests and do this every day, Monday through Friday, go to buymeacoffee.com/makeyourdayricher and make a little donation there and help us to continue doing that. Okay, I have talked enough, and we have a really good show. So we're going to go take a break, and we're going to be right back with Karen Iverson right after this. Don't go away. Life is difficult. Are you feeling overwhelmed or like you could use a little support for your mental well-being? Visit the Help Hub. It's the most comprehensive and inclusive free online destination for mental health resources, helpful tools, crisis hotlines, and supportive content. Just go to thehelphub.co to find the resources you need when you need them most. Unlike other resource pages, the Help Hub is divided into 16 different categories, ensuring that everyone in every community has access to the resources and support that matches their unique needs. Find the help you're looking for at thehelphub.co. Well, there we go. We're back, everybody. Thank you so much for sticking around. Today, we have a guest with a wealth of knowledge and a heart for helping others navigate life's challenges. Karen Iverson is an award-winning author and a licensed professional counselor with 2 master's degrees. I could barely get a degree in theater, but she has two master's degrees. She's written extensively on overcoming adversity, including her Winning the Breast Cancer Battle series, and she's just released her new book, Winning the Mental Health Battle: From Struggling to Thriving, 7 Tips to Navigate Anxiety, Depression, and Mania. And most of you know that usually I have people on here because I need their help. So selfishly, I just booked them on the show, and that's why Karen's here. Please welcome Karen Iverson. Good morning.
Hi. Hi, good morning. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing great today. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Oh, good. Thanks for being here. I'm excited to talk to you, and I'm excited for people to learn from you. I want to start with your new book. Can you talk about the new book?
Yes, so my new book is Winning the Mental Health Battle: From Struggling to Thriving, 7 Tips to Navigate Anxiety, Depression, and Mania. And it really looks at all those different types of mental illnesses or mental health struggles that, the everyday person struggles, from depression to anxiety, and then the more intense ones to mania.
Mm.
It really gives tips in there on how to navigate through them, and also gives experiences that I've suffered through, to give some real life examples.
I love when you said that everyday people, that these are things that everyday people have, because I think when it's so hard to say some of those words and to say, I have that, I have anxiety. And they're also words I think that get thrown out a lot. Like it feels like they're buzzwords lately, but tell me if I'm wrong, and I could be. That it's because people are finally talking about it and okay to talk about it. So it seems like it's everywhere and new and buzzwordy. That's a word I just made up. But can you talk a little bit about that, about the importance of talking about it?
Yes, there used to be such a big stigma against it. And, it was taboo. You wouldn't talk about it. Families didn't want anybody to know if one of their family members was suffering from any of these type of things.
Mm.
And the thing is that, just as you mentioned, nowadays, there are more people that are talking about it, more people that are open to expressing what's actually going on in their lives. And it's really beneficial because, when everybody is suffering from similar things, you can understand one another better if you understand what they're going through. And so, in order to do that, you have to be willing to talk about what's going on. And, it includes therapy as well, because people can come to therapy, and a therapist is like a sounding board. A therapist does not give you advice. They might sound like they're giving you advice, but they're really there to help you, think through things you're going through, and reflect back to you what they're hearing you say in a different way, so you can get a new perspective on it. And it really, helps those people who are suffering.
Yeah, it's so important. I just had my therapy session yesterday, and all of those things combined are so important. I want to talk about kind of your series. Like I said in the intro, you have the series on breast cancer and the term winning. I know there are different. We're fighting this, we're fighting that, we're battling. Can you talk about your, like, how you came to kind of the title of your series?
Sure. I really, feel like that. I feel like going through breast cancer, going to mental health troubles and struggles, um, we're fighting a battle. It's something that attacks our mind. It attacks our heart, our soul, our body, our spirit, and we're really fighting. And the thing is that every day we can win that battle. Every day we can get through this day and make it to the next day. And so, when we get to the end of the day, we've won the day. And that is so powerful, because we can start fresh in the morning saying, okay, today's a new day and yesterday is gone. And you know what? I'm going to win again today. And it's really just a powerful thing. I feel like we're all thrivers. We're not struggling. We're thrivers, and we're thriving through what we're struggling with.
Can you speak to the people or the days that maybe it doesn't feel like, or maybe it feels like I don't know how I'm going to get through today. Like it's just one of those days where you feel like no matter what, you're getting punched down and pushed down. Like, can you talk a little bit about that, and maybe some ways that are helpful to see past that in that moment?
Hmm. One of the things is that we do struggle on a daily basis. A lot of people do anyway. And we need to just literally get through one moment at a time.
Mm,
So everybody thinks I have this emotion and it lasts so long and it doesn't go away. Well, emotions, technically, they found scientifically, last 90 seconds. So the thing is, if you can get through that 90 seconds to that other side of that emotion, then you can get through it.
right.
And so what happens is we as people will ruminate on things. So we'll keep thinking the same thing over and over again and keep bringing that emotion back to us and back to us. And it gets more and more intense. Whereas if we can just say, okay, you know what? I'm going to take a deep breath. I'm going to, sit here and pause and step back and look at what's going on from a different perspective and then get through those 90 seconds, we can get beyond that emotion. And so a lot of it really is taking it moment by moment and
Mm.
also doing things like breath work where you're, you know, inhaling health and exhaling, toxins.
Yeah, that's how it ends up being 90 minutes and 90 days, and it feels like forever, right?
Yeah, yeah. It can feel like a really long time, and and one of the things that I really do suggest is going to see a therapist because, therapists are trained to help you work through what you're going through and get some tools in your belt so that you can know what to do when you are stuck in an emotion or stuck in a specific circumstance.
How did you get into this work? I know you've had a very artistic, creative past. And so I want to know how you got into this and if part of your kind of prescription plan for yourself is still creating and being artistic.
Yes. So my dad was a psychiatrist. And when I was a little girl, all I wanted to do was be a psychiatrist like my dad. And
Wow.
then he died. And so then I wanted to be even more like my dad. And so I pushed myself through all these science classes and they were really difficult. And I got to college and I stifled all of my creative artistic side. And I went full throttle science. And I was miserable, totally
Wow.
miserable. So what happened was I decided I needed to reincorporate some of that creative side. So when I was in college, I then became an English minor and I started taking all these English classes where I could literally write myself out of my misery. And I would just go to the drawing board and write things and write how I was feeling and journal about this and write about that. And that really helped me escape from all the negative stress I was putting on myself with the science classes. And then after I graduated from college, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. So I basically went from job to job to job to job and went back to school for this and went back to school for that and just couldn't figure it out until eventually I actually went to see a career counselor and we did some inventory tasks and I did some informational interviewing and found that I would be a good art therapist and a good counselor. And that really brought me back to deciding that I did want to become a counselor. And so then I started pursuing counseling and went that way. And as far as the creative side goes, I think that is essential for life and essential for my life, especially. And literally, the other night couldn't sleep. And what did I do? I picked up my pad and some markers and I started doing a drawing, you know?
Mhm.
And so I really think you can use drawing or whatever your creative outlet is, acting, singing, anything that is creative for you to help you get through whatever you're struggling with.
Yeah, and I used to actually work for an arts and health nonprofit, and I hosted a podcast for them called Arts for the Health of It. And it was exactly what you're talking about. And I think what's important about that is find what art form works for you, whether it's playing guitar or acting, like you said, writing, um, and see what you fall in love with. And then it's one of those things where it's so easy, it doesn't feel like it's supposed to work, but it does.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. And that's it. You hit the nail on the head. You have to find what your specific passion is and what works for you, because we're all unique individuals, and what works for one person might not work for somebody else,
Yeah.
or it might work for both people. It just really depends upon what your specific niche is, what your specific talents and gifts and interests are.
That makes me think of a question of when you're talking about, like you said, like, not everything is for everybody and there isn't like a one size fits all. When people, like, who would you say the book is for? Who should be reading it? And is there like a general starting point for someone?
So, with all of my books, my original book about breast cancer is really best for loved ones, because it will show them what it's like to go through breast cancer.
Okay.
My second book on breast cancer was the companion journal, and that's really geared towards the person who specifically is going through breast cancer, so that they can work through it. And there's room in there to journal. There's a calendar in
Mm.
there. There's tips and questions to ask doctors. All the things that the breast cancer thriver would need while they're going through their challenge. And then the winning the mental health battle is really great for anybody who is going through anxiety or depression or mania, as well as, I'd say even their loved ones. It's really a very broad book, because it helps the loved ones know what they're going through, but it also gives tips for the one that's going through it, so that they can find ways and solutions to get through what they're struggling with.
I love that. What about some signs maybe that people can be looking for within themselves or their loved ones, um, to maybe think, oh, maybe it's time for me to get the book, seek help, see what I can do, as opposed to just like, I'm having a bad week. Like, there's always that, well, it's not as bad as someone else, right? Like, and so I don't want to take that on myself because someone else probably needs it more than I do. But do you have any like things that people can maybe be searching for within themselves or maybe seeing in other people?
I really believe that if you're struggling, and you're feeling overly anxious, or you're feeling like you don't want to get out of bed, or, you're just like on top of the world and everything is just amazing, and you just can't believe anything would never be unlike this perfect moment, then that would be a good time to get the book. And, really reach out for some help from other people, because we don't want to struggle, and we shouldn't have to struggle, and we shouldn't have to struggle alone. That's really the point of the book, is so that the person with the feelings of anxiety, the person with the feelings of depression, or mania, can know that they're not alone, and know that somebody else is suffering in this way, which, what, might be just like how I'm suffering.
Yeah, and sometimes that's the largest step to get up and the first, like, such a huge breakthrough when you realize I'm not the only one that is going through this or has gone through this. That hope factor is, and the connection with someone else is a huge, huge thing. What did
Yeah,
you learn while you were writing this book?
that's a very good question. Um, I think I really learned that I've gone through a lot of things in my life. I've really struggled here and there, but I've had a lot of positives too. And that, to go back to the title, not to be cliche, but that, I have won a lot in my life. I've gotten through a lot of things that have been really difficult struggles.
Hmm.
And that I really just want to share that with other people, so that they don't have to suffer the way that I suffered.
Was that a difficult decision to make, to talk about it, about what you've gone through?
Yeah, it was actually. The breast cancer books were more, this is breast cancer and this is what I experienced. So, I'm going to share this with you so you can understand what it's like and get through it yourself as well. And the mental health book was a little bit more along the lines of, you know, it's not as taboo as it used to be, but there still is a stigma against it in some
Mhm.
respects. Some people, some cultures more than others, and some, people feel that you won't be looked at the same way.
Mm,
You'll be thought of differently, you'll be treated differently. And so I had a bunch of people tell me, do not publish this book,
mm.
do not put it out there. But I really felt it was the time to say it and to put it out there. And so, I took my faith and I went forward with it.
What are you hearing from people that have read the book?
Really positive things. I mean, some people have really mentioned that it's really helped them in understanding what a loved one is going through, or other people have mentioned that it really gave them some tips that were really helpful to them when they were struggling with their specific, mental health challenge. So, yeah, it's been really positive.
Good. What are we winning next? Are you working on something, another book or anything?
I'm I'm probably going to transform it into an audiobook. So that's my
Ah,
next step.
yeah.
My first book, the initial breast cancer book, is on audiobook. And so my next plan was to take the Winning the Mental Health Battle and make it into an audiobook.
I love that. Love that. What is the best way that people can connect with you and follow you to make sure they know what you're up to?
Yes, so my handles are Karen E. Iverson. And if they want to find my website, it's also www.kareneiverson.com.
Okay, perfect. And I know there's a quiz on the website as well, a free quiz. Do you want to tell everybody about that?
Yes, so that's another thing, going back to your question before about how somebody knows if the book is a good thing for them or something necessary at the moment. I have a website link, which is www.kareneiverson.com/mental health. And if you go there, there are three quizzes. There's a quiz for anxiety, a quiz for depression, and a quiz for mania. And you can take those and see whether you're meeting criteria for a diagnosis in that area.
Oh, so helpful. I can't thank you enough for the community that you are building, for the resources that you have for people. It's so helpful and I'm so happy you're out there doing this work.
Thank you so much. I just,
Yeah.
I want to help people. I want them to, as I said, not struggle like I did. And so,
Mhm.
the one person I can help is the most important person, that individual that gets that help. So,
I love that. What do you love most about your life right now?
actually started doing equine therapy. So I have clients that go with me to a horse ranch and they work with the horses, and I am trying to work in Igala, which is a specific type of equine therapy, equine growth and learning assisted therapy. And I'm just really enjoying being out with horses again and being out with my clients. And, it's beneficial to me, it's beneficial to them. And
Yeah.
the horses seem to enjoy it too, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. We have someone coming up to talk about equine therapy, so that's exciting. And that'll be a yeah, yeah, we have that booked already. That's fun. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you spending the morning with me.
Oh, I appreciate you having me on, it's been a blast.
Come back anytime, especially if you could hear the dog in the background. Come back so then we'll do it when there's nothing happening. I love it. Love working from
Okay.
home.
Yeah, and I hear you on the allergies 100%.
Oh, awful, awful, but we'll get through it. I've heard that you're supposed to go get like local honey, and that's what I'm gonna go do. So
Yes,
we'll see if
yes,
that helps.
yes, definitely.
Thank
Yeah.
thank you, Karen. Karen's book again. The new one is called Winning the Mental Health Battle. Go to her website to learn more about her and take those quizzes. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
That's our show, everyone. Thanks for watching. Go make your day richer. Go make somebody else's day richer. You've made mine by watching the show, and I love you for it. We'll be back tomorrow with author Michael Stockham. Take care, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.